Hi, my name is Jenny Machado, and I am a mom of one little baby girl. I say baby, she's a toddler now. She's almost 2. And I am from New Orleans, Louisiana, or nearby New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm a working mom. I work at a bank as a credit analyst. I had just recently decided to do these videos. It'll be several, I'm not sure how many, but I'm gonna just go with the flow, see what happens. I've been lately just kind of had it on my heart to try to make this video and other videos on just some of my life experiences, different things that I've went through, because I've been going through a lot lately, within the past several years, and it was hard to get through, hard to go through. And I just wanted to see if I made these videos, even if it helps one person. I just want to help someone. Just even if it's knowing you're not alone, that helps a lot in my experience. Just knowing that you're not alone in something you're going through helps so much. So for some reason, it's just been on my heart for the past few months, really, to do this. And I finally decided, hey, let's just do it. Let's see what happens and go from there. I'm not trying to make any money off of this or anything. I just want to make these videos, and if I can possibly help someone, then great. I would love to help someone. And it also helps me get out some of my feelings as well. So this first video that I'm going to do is going to be about my husband and I struggle to conceive, to get pregnant and have a baby. So we started probably in 2015 to try to have a baby. I got off birth control in February of 2015. It was a long process. Every month, doing ovulation tests, doing pregnancy tests every month, praying that I would be pregnant. It took a year. It took a year for me to get pregnant. You get your hopes up so much. Every cycle you think, oh, I'm nauseous, maybe I'm pregnant. Oh, I don't feel so good, maybe I'm pregnant. Oh, I feel a little tired, maybe I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm having a craving, maybe I'm pregnant. And then you don't get your cycle, maybe I'm pregnant. But you take a test, it's negative. Anyone who's ever had to try to conceive for any length of time knows how upsetting, how disappointing that every single month can be. Every single month. You cry, more tears, you think about it constantly, you feel like a disappointment to your husband, to your family, to yourself. You don't feel good enough because for some reason you can't conceive. People say, oh, it'll happen on God's timing, and all that does is make you feel like God doesn't want you to have a child. And that, while not true, obviously, is the worst thing people can say. Oh, it'll happen on God's timing. Oh, maybe you're just not ready yet. Oh, just calm down and maybe it'll happen. Stop stressing about it. It'll happen. Just think about it. Just don't think about it. Just relax. None of that works. None of it. And people think it does, and they just are trying to help. But if you're that person that is on the outside trying to help someone through that, don't say those things. Just be there for them, because it doesn't help. And anyone that's tried to conceive for any length of time knows that. It's every time you see someone else's announcement that they're pregnant, it's not that you're not happy for that person, but it's so upsetting, because why can't it be me? And those are the emotions you go through. Every single cycle is a disappointment, every single one. So we fast forward to March of 2016. I took a pregnancy test like I normally did. Didn't expect it to be positive because they never are. So why would they be? Took a pregnancy test. It was positive. Yay, so I called my doctor, my OBGYN, and I got an appointment. So we went in. They scheduled us for an ultrasound a week later, because I was only 5 weeks. So they scheduled me for the next week for 6 weeks so I can go get another ultrasound. Well, my first ultrasound, so I can see if, everything was okay, blah, blah. just normal procedure. So I go in, do the ultrasound that next week. And they said that the baby's heartbeat was a little slow, but they weren't concerned, that it's still early, so that they like it to be over 100, and it wasn't. I think it was like 80 something. So they scheduled it for 2 weeks from then, 3 weeks from then. So we went in, that was the longest 3 weeks ever. It was miserable waiting and, not knowing, because of course you're thinking something wrong, blah, blah. So we go in at the 3 weeks, get the ultrasound, and the ultrasound tech seemed a little weird about it, so I kind of just knew something was up. So when we got into the doctor's appointment in the doctor's office, they said the baby wasn't viable, that the baby had stopped growing. So they gave me a choice to wait it out, because I hadn't bled or anything, I hadn't passed the baby. So they gave me an option to wait it out, take a pill that would help to speed things along to get the baby to come out, or I can have a surgery done to remove the baby. They said that the bleeding would be a lot and it could last a long time either way. So I decided to do the surgery just to speed it along, because I just wanted it to end. I was already so upset, and I just wanted it to end. I couldn't wait for bleeding, and I didn't want to have to see that all the time. And so I decided to do the surgery. They were able to schedule it for that Friday. I think it was like a Monday at that point. So I ended up not going to work all that week. I was so upset. My husband was so upset. It was the hardest time, of my life, to maybe not of my life, but one of the hardest times of my life for sure, losing a child. Even though it wasn't born, it was still hard. I was only 9 weeks pregnant, and I mean, I know people that have had miscarriages way later than that. I don't know how they did it, because this baby was only in me for 9 weeks and I loved it so much, and to lose that child was really hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life, and it was traumatic. It was hard. I cried every day. I still cry some days, and it's been years. This was in 2016 and we're in 2019 now. So I still think about it. I still wonder, what would have happened? What would have happened? What was it, a boy? Was it a girl? I always think it was a boy, but I don't know. So, once we got the surgery, we went into the hospital, and my mom was there. My mother-in-law and father-in-law was there. I was crying my eyes out. I was so embarrassed, because I was crying in front of my mother-in-law and father-in-law, because, they had never really seen that side of me. So it was kind of embarrassing, but, they were fine about it. They understood. But, we went in, and I was very upset. They took me to the back to a pre-op room or whatever. And, they put me under at some point, and they did the surgery. I woke up in another recovery room. It was just my mom and husband at that point. Because my mother and father-in-law had to go to work. But I woke up, and the first thing I knew was that the baby was gone. It wasn't in me anymore. And that hurt just as much as when I found out the baby wasn't there. The baby wasn't in me anymore. And I knew that it was going to happen eventually. Even if I didn't get the surgery, the baby would have birthed itself out. But I cried again, and I cried for several days. I think I missed a week of work or 2 weeks of work or something because of that, because I was just so upset. So we waited. The doctor suggested to wait about 3 months before we tried again. We didn't wait 3 months. We waited probably a month or two, because I was already so upset, and I felt like it took so long to get pregnant this time, so we probably won't even get pregnant right away. So we started trying again. Tried again. Took a while. It took another year. So every month, once again, taking ovulation tests, taking pregnancy tests. I joined a group for infertility on Facebook. And that helped me to not feel so alone. There's so many people that struggle, and you see people that have been struggling for years, 15 years. I remember seeing one of them and no baby, and sometimes it made me kind of lose hope. Like, it's possible that I could never have a child. That's kind of what that made me feel like. It's possible that, then you see people that they make their pregnancy announcements, and it's like, well, if they got through this cycle, then maybe I can too. I ended up somewhere around, I think about 9-10 months. I went to my doctor, and he did a test to just check me for different things to see if anything was wrong. Nothing was wrong, so that's good news. And, he said, you got pregnant once, you should be able to get pregnant again. There's no reason why you shouldn't, So we just kept trying. Well, come February, no, it was March. I got pregnant in February, but I didn't find out till March. Come March, it was the morning of my nephew's birthday party. Something told me to take a pregnancy test. So I did. My husband was in the bedroom, and I was in the bathroom. And I went and took the pregnancy test. It was in our master bedroom, so it's like the bedroom and then the bathroom's like right there. So like I had the door open, whatever. I took it, and I didn't expect it to be positive once again, because it never is. So why would it be now? Well, I took it, and I waited the 3 minutes. I looked, and it was positive. That was probably one of the greatest moments of my life, seeing that positive test. I was so excited, nervous because of what happened last time. I could lose this one too. So we went to my nephew's birthday party. We didn't tell anyone, no one, because I didn't want anyone to get overly excited. I wanted to wait a few days and make sure it was really positive. I wanted to go to the doctor and make sure that I was really pregnant before I told anybody. So I ended up taking another test like 2 days later, and it was positive still. So the line was darker. So I called my mom, my husband called his mom, and we talked and told them. That's the only people we told. We didn't tell siblings or anything like that. I had made a doctor's appointment for that week, and we did the same thing. They scheduled an ultrasound for the next week, because I was only 5 weeks, so they scheduled it for the next week. So I went in that next week and did my ultrasound, and the heartbeat was 114, which meant a good heartbeat. I was so nervous that it wasn't going to be because of what happened last time. But it was a good heartbeat, 114, perfect. So we go into the regular doctor's appointment, and they said everything looks great and all that. So yay, I'm finally pregnant. I was 6 weeks pregnant at that point. So that was in 2017. So I got a due date for November 18th, which was a very ironic date, because my last due date for my first child was November 19th of 2016. This one was 2017. But I just thought that was amazing that, I got that same month, within a day due date. So went throughout my pregnancy. It was very nerve-wracking, because you never know what could happen. And, I was nervous because I didn't know if I was going to lose this one too. You could wait 6-7 months, whatever, and still lose a baby. So I went through every month, just every time we had to go to the doctor, is the baby okay? Every time they put the Doppler on my stomach and I heard that heartbeat, it was the best thing ever. Pregnancy was hard for me though, even though I wanted it so bad and I loved my child, and I wanted to be pregnant. It was hard. I was exhausted. I work a full-time job. I was exhausted. I got really big, so it was uncomfortable and all that, but I was so grateful to be pregnant. Regardless of how hard it was, I was so thankful to be pregnant. And we went through everything. We found out at 18 weeks pregnant that I had a girl. So, we were really excited about that. We found out for the ultrasound, just me and my husband, we found out that it was a girl. And then we had one of those gender reveal parties for the rest of my family, to tell them, my family and my husband's family. you know, we did, we had a cake, and we also had a balloon with the pink confetti in it, and we popped it, and you know, it came out pink. And we also had a cake that a friend had made that with the pink inside, and on the top of the cake it said, "We're here for the sex," and then inside it was pink. So we had that as a backup in case it rained and we couldn't do the balloon thing, because I wasn't about to pop a balloon full of confetti in my house. But it ended up being a pretty day, and we ended up being able to do the balloon pop. Everybody was so excited. It was so funny because for the gender reveal, what we did was we had everybody that thought it was a boy to stand on one side of the yard, and everybody that thought it was a girl to stand on the other side. Well, everyone except for like 4 people thought it was a boy, and it was a girl. So what we had planned was everyone that was wrong, so everyone that thought it was a boy, we were going to spray them with water guns. So we had them like on the side of the house where nobody could see, and we popped the balloon. The girl, yay, everyone was all excited. I knew it, because my mom knew it was a girl, even though I really thought it was a boy. When they told me that it was a girl, I was like, are you sure? You know, because I didn't believe it, because I just had a feeling it was a boy, but I wanted a girl, so I was so excited. But anyway, so once we popped it and it was a girl, everybody got excited. We went and grabbed the water guns, and we squirted everybody that thought it was a boy. It was fun. So we ended up, at 36 weeks, I was told that I was 4 centimeters dilated already. I wasn't in labor, but I was 4 centimeters dilated. So the doctors kept telling me week after week that it's going to be any day now, you're going to sneeze wrong and you're going to go into labor. So kept thinking, oh, this is going to be the day. Well, it wasn't the day until November 20th, 2 days late. I went into labor that, it was November 19th I went into labor, and I had her November 20th. Beautiful baby girl. Her name's Addison. Elizabeth is her middle name. First name Addison, middle name Elizabeth. She's now 21 months old, and she's amazing. She's such a joy. So we did have some problems after Addison was born with her, and I'm gonna do another video on that at a later date, so just be on the lookout for that. If you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification, you will get updates every time I post a video, and that way you can know when I post the next one, so you can hear that part of the story of what happened when she was born. When she was born, I chose to breastfeed, so I was nursing, and so that was kind of challenging in the hospital, because, people were in and out, and I had lactation consultants in there a lot, and because we did have a little issues. So, I'll talk about that stuff too. Well, thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification, so that way you know when I post other videos. Thank you so much. Bye.